Hi, everyone. It is Wellness Wednesday, and it has been a day. And I read a post earlier today that you saw potentially on our Instagram about how the fact that Wednesdays are typically difficult for me. And it's something about being the third day of the week, and for me, the fourth day. And I'm going to just go ahead and talk while Dr. Ali is coming into the shop. But um, there's something about it being like the fourth day of the week that I'm just like always over it. So I was really excited that we decided it was going to be a wellness day because I needed like a little bit of extra wellness every Wednesday and especially today.
Yes, I feel you on that. Yeah, for me, Wednesday is definitely a hump day. It's the longest day of the week for me. I have my most amount of meetings. So there's times all through the day where I really have to check in, do a deep breath, do kind of my mindset, and kind of check back in.
So how do you typically check in during the day?
Well, one of them is taking, I would say, 3 resetting breaths.
Okay.
Just a big inhale.
Can we do that right now?
And an exhale. And just a big inhale. And an exhale. One more. Inhale. And so for me, just that is an amazing reset.
I know, I feel a lot better.
Yes, I try to do that at the top of every hour, actually, during the day.
I wonder why people make this the busiest day of the week, because there's a choice, right?
Yeah, there definitely is.
And that's like a pattern. So as soon as I woke up today, I'm like, I need to do yoga. And so I didn't want to take my usual yoga class. I like test out different fitness routines, and there's some yoga classes that I usually take on YouTube. But as a certified yoga instructor, clearly I have the ability to design my own classes. So after I did my walk, I did not run today. After I did my walk and my circuit, I said, let me design a yoga class. So I did it in 5-minute increments. And it was really nice. It's not perfect. I got tired of it. But I did it, and it just felt like really, really fulfilling because it was like my body was like, yoga now. Right. And I was able to use a lot of different parts of me to create a custom class and have patience, because when you're doing something 5 minutes at a time, you're not like going hardcore. So I was doing 5 minutes, trying to write down my thoughts, testing out sequence and changing it up. And so it was like a more gentle practice is what I really needed. It just fulfilled me in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. And so I think the other thing that's a big deal for me on Wellness Wednesdays is making sure I would say, reimagining and redefining my diet. So making sure the first thing I eat is something green, leafy, have a salad, maybe with some protein, and use that to, again, break my fast and then start and propel me through the rest of my day.
Just to add on to that, for those of you who drink tea or coffee, like you're supposed to have 2 glasses of water before you ingest anything acidic into your body. So I know this morning I was like, I want coffee, but I remembered that and I was like, nope, you have to finish 2. And my body like gobbled it up. Like I was dehydrated after the second cup, so I had to drink 4 cups of water before I was able to enjoy my lovely Colombian roast coffee.
and I would say water in general is is another great reset, right? I think I drink a glass of water before every meal, and that's also a great way to kind of slow down your metabolism, or I guess I would say speed it up. It's going to slow down the amount of food you're going to eat at the same time.
Right. I remember when someone told me that oftentimes when we think we're hungry, we're actually thirsty, and most people can't discern the difference between the 2 cravings. I was like, what? And then I tried to drink water. I was like, I'm full now. Why am I full?
There it is.
That's definitely the truth. So as the leader of Wellness Wednesdays, what bit of wisdom would you like to share with us today?
I mean, for me, I would say it starts with self-awareness. So I would want everybody to really think about how your mental and what's going on in your mind will help um, kind of inform what you're doing physically, how you're feeling, kind of what you eat, um, how your workouts go. So I think it's so important to be aware and have that level of awareness with both of those things. Because yeah, if you're not feeling the greatest physically, then your mindset and your mental may be off. So I think it's really about kind of being aware of that balance. For me, it's almost like stretching, right? So when I stretch every day, you have certain parts of your body that are going to be more or less tight. I want everybody to kind of think about that with the mental and the physical,
Yeah.
and think about how which one feels tighter today, which one you're going to kind of relax, you're going to stretch, which one you're going to be more compassionate with,
Right.
and really try to figure out that balance in that sweet spot.
And it's interesting that you talk about this stretching and balance and grace, because yoga is actually that place for me. For most people, yoga is when they stretch and when they are already relaxed, but yoga is the number one way that I've hurt myself in all of my physical fitness career, because I am super flexible and I use my type A, like, oh yeah, I could do this leg over the shoulder push up position. And I would just, my shoulder blade messed up because I wasn't focused on alignment. I was focused on, oh yeah, I know my body physically can do every pose.
Right. But
And I was like leaning into my ego versus like understanding the point, which is to be calm and be gentle. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Right.
So now, like, I don't push myself as much. And even how I did it today, that enabled me not to be type A on my physical, even though I had to reorient it, because I was still being type A. Like, I'm crafting a class, but I knew I'm not going to hurt myself writing poses down.
But that's the balance, right? That's
Yeah.
Finding that balance and being compassionate, being gentle with yourself. And I think that goes both ways, right? I think we're used to doing that from the physical sense, because if you hurt yourself and you have a limp, but I mean, when you wake up and your mind is not there, that's just like waking up with a limp or a cramp, right? And I think we have to learn how to stretch, be gentle, take it easy, right? Be easy with ourselves.
Yes. So a couple people from the audience have sent me questions.
Okay.
On how to really integrate wellness into different scenarios. So the first question is, how do you keep a wellness mindset when you have all kinds of work deadlines that are pulling you in a million directions? There are all these fires, there's all these like urgent kind of needs at the same time, and you are responsible for responding and engaging with all of these needs. So how are you able to really integrate the two into your normal life?
Yeah, I will say simply, it's about thinking about what my goal is, and I think as we talk about the different days, one of the days is Abundance Fridays. For me, I always have a health in abundance perspective, and so for me, like the saying goes, the first wealth is health. And so for me, I really frame everything around, I want to be as healthy as I can be today. And so it's easy. Everything else falls in line from that, because every decision I'm making is, how can I be the most healthy? And I have reminders set up during the day. On my phone, I have a ergonomic reminder that dings, it makes the sound of a gong every hour on the hour. That's my reminder to breathe. That's my reminder to start to stretch, do some ergonomic stretches, check in with my back, my legs, stand up sometimes. Sometimes it's my transition to stand up at my desk. There's a number of different cues and clues that I use during the day to maintain that, again, that balance.
So for this particular question, for this person, do you think that the person should let the people that they're engaging with also know about the techniques, or just kind of keep them to themselves? Or it depends kind of situation.
Yeah, I would definitely share. To me, there's no harm in sharing. And I think as we start to share those practices, I think people will be reminded, oh, wow, yeah, I used to do that. Or thank you for that reminder, right? Because a lot of people say they're going to do it and then they forget, right? And so I think it's okay. And I'm actively trying to create partnerships, and I'm actively trying to create kind of accountability circles, whether they be with coworkers or people who are in a meeting, right? And say, hey, we're going to be in this meeting for the next 2 hours. Let's try to make sure we remember to do these things that are going to be in alignment with our mental and physical wellness.
Yeah, and when I had my 17 employees at Enrich Her, I would actually assign one of the books that I love, consciousness books, as a book club over the week. So whether it was Think and Grow Rich or Strangest Secret or How to Program Your Subconscious Mind, I thought it would be very helpful to the whole team, because I really feel like you're in partnership with everyone around you, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
If you can be in alignment with everyone around you, it'll make it easier. So I agree that it's good to let people know, and it's up to them if they want to participate and want to be a part of it. My next question was about being in partnership when people have different kinds of relationships. So the relationship we just talked about was a work relationship, but what about between a parent and a child? So how do you say, hey, we're going to partner in this graceful, soft life, while also understanding that there are different roles here, kind of navigating how someone feels in each part of what they're doing?
I mean, I think that comes down to how you practice it, right? I think, and really just explore the different practices, right? So if you're talking about with your kids, I think explore different practices with them and kind of get a feel for what works for you, what works for them, and communicate. I feel like communicate with that partner, whether it's your child, whether it's your spouse, your romantic partner. Really talk through what is working, because the soft life and these self-care practices should feel like you're taking care of yourself. And I think we can learn from each other in that way and be reminded even. There's times where I work with my daughter and she reminds me of some of the practices that I used to use for self-care, and she teaches me new ones.
That's beautiful. When you're talking about taking care of yourself, I was thinking about how I often need a hug. And I learned how to hug myself when you do it so tight. And shake side to side and just share with yourself all the love that you need. This stuff works.
Yeah. And
it works. It feels so good.
And I think that reminds me of even smiling, right? Like I know oftentimes in yoga practice, the instructor may say, smile, right? And just moving your lips upwards, like the corners of your mouth upwards, can change the way your face feels. It will change kind of how you breathe. It can totally reset your body again.
Yeah, smiling is a beautiful thing. So given that it's Wellness Wednesday, what other elements should we focus on to close out the day?
I mean, I think something related to physical wellness, right? So I would say it would be great if everyone could commit to one of my favorites, the 50-50-50. So 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, or 50 squats, or go for a 30-minute walk today. Those are my two recommendations from the physical wellness side of things.
Well, since it's at the end of the day, I did all mine this morning, but it is one of my favorite practices to walk after meals. So there was a period of my life where every time I had dinner, I went on a 30-minute walk. And I loved it when I lived in DC. And I think your body loves it, helps you digest. It only could be 30 minutes because you need to be back in place. But it was just like really good for your body. And I was reflecting recently about if there was a way to kind of reintegrate that into my life. And it's a casual walk. So it's one of those that you could do with your entire family because you're not in it for like a competitive or egotistical thing. It's like a communal kind of thing that's good for your body. And get some vitamin D, all this stuff if it's light
All of the
outside.
things.
And so I really like that suggestion. But yes, my arms are done. No more push-ups or squats today. Yes. I did this circuit this morning and it was like, oh, we're going to do weighted jumping jacks, then weighted jump squats, then squats. I'm like, what?
You're doing the most.
That's what I said. And that was just the first 3 exercises. I was like, that's the sequence? I've never even done a weighted jumping jack before. I didn't know that was a thing, or a weighted jump squat. I didn't know people put weights in their hands.
Yeah,
on their shoulders.
Too much.
Anyway, but sometimes I do this to like working out helps me get in the present moment. A lot of times the doing weights and especially focusing on moves because I don't want to hurt myself. So I really pay attention, like, does it look right? So I really love all your recommendations.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yes.
I think I need to leave soon because I got to go to capoeira. Because for me, capoeira is one of my releases. It's a self-care. It's unique. It's physical, but it's also mental because the drumming and kind of the serenity of it all.
Well, I can't wait to see footage of you doing capoeira. I remember when I was in Brazil, those people doing capoeira. I was like, okay, wow. All right, I'm gonna sit right here, eat some popcorn. It was great. So I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Okay, we'll see.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We will be hosting lives from time to time. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel or join us at wezoeandali.com. And we look forward to helping you on your wellness journey. I'm Dr. Rashana.
Dr. Ali.
Dr. Zoe. Rashana Zoe. Zoe Hart. And I am joined by the amazing Dr. Ali.
Take care and be well.